Master Tavern Keeper's History of the Old World.
And so, what do we know about this Hagdar, this Scourge of the Darklands, Master Tavern Keeper?
Well, not a great deal is known to me, beyond that which Strolvar told me, which I will come to presently. That said, I am aware of the following facts. For starters, he is big. Well, obviously, he's a dragon, but I mean that he is very, very big. Especially for a Magma Dragon. It is also said that he is extremely old, dating back eons. These two facts go hand in hand, of course, as only the most ancient dragons are able to reach such sizes.
Och, and why is that?
I know that you already know the answer, my dear Master Alchemist, but for the neophyte's benefit, as is your intent, the reason is this. Dragons continue to grow throughout their lives, even upon reaching adulthood, so long as food is plentiful. Thus, the largest of their kind are invariably the oldest. Anyway, I've also heard that during the long millennia there have been many sightings of Hagdar all across the Darklands and beyond. And the fact that he was encountered here, emerging from a cave in the Ashridge Mountains, does not mean we should assume that this is his true abode. It could simply be one of many nests dotted all over the known world. Finally, there is also mention of Hagdar in some of the ancient tomes of the dwarf holds, but I have not read these, nor do I know what happened in each of the stories, beyond their titles. As more of a tease than anything else, I suppose. The most prominent of these are the following. The death of Thadrek Grimfire. The loss of the anvil of Undrim Flintheart. And the theft of the Fire-Eye Diamond. With such titles, we could indulge in a great deal of conjecture, but it's not going to be more than that. Pure conjecture. Let us not go down that path right now.
Oh, well, all that can't be helped, I suppose. Why don't you tell us what you do know? What exactly happened when the two slayers, Snorri Stonebreaker and Strolvar the Wanderer, encountered this Magma Dragon, Hagdar, the Scourge of the Darklands?
Ah, yes, good point. Well, Strolvar told me the following, but I'll warn you now. If you're expecting a good old dragon-slaying romp, the tale certainly does not go in that direction. Skeggy, a decade earlier. What? You encountered Hagdar, the Scourge of the Darklands, and you lived?
Ah, Manlin. Much to my eternal shame.
Huh? What do you mean, Strolvar?
It all happened so quickly, Manlin. We two stood upon the slopes of the volcano, as above us, Hagdar, the great dragon, roared, angered that something had dared disturb its slumber by entering its realm. It swung its beaked maw, this way and that, searching for us, burning saliva, dribbling from the corners of its mouth. But initially it failed to spot our tiny forms. Frustrated, the dragon suddenly spread its wide, sinewy wings, and then beat them against the ground, causing a flurry of ash to billow about, swallowing us. He was trying to choke us out. We quickly covered our eyes, noses, and mouths with our cloaks, and waited for the miasma to settle. Over our heads, we heard the dragon's roar once more, echoing out long and loud over the ash-rich mountains. The debris quickly returned to the earth, and as soon as we could stand and see clearly, Snorri shed his belongings, raising up his axes and crossing them in the traditional Drengi way. This is it, Baitlin! For years I have sought my doom. For decades have I fought to expunge my shame. For a lifetime have I lived on both time, but no more. Here is my death, and what a glorious death it will be. Against fire and claw, fang and scale, I surely cannot prevail. I go to join your father in glory. Farewell, Grumbaki. The plain of bones is yonder. Go find your father's axe. No, Sturdy Stonebreaker. I will fight by your side. You'll do no such thing. I made a promise to your father. We are on the doorstep of the Plain of Bones. Get thee into the dragon's graveyard. It is not your time to die. Here is my reward. No, Snorri Stonebreaker. I will fight by your side. You will not, you stupid beardling. Get gone. He spotted us. You interfering, stubborn Grumbaki. Will you leave or not? I will fight back. Snorri knocked the lights out of me. I awoke hours later on the other side of the Ash Ridge Mountains. We were in a cave. It was night. It took a moment for my eyes to focus, but when they did, I saw Snorri sat on the other side of a fire. The foulest scowl I've ever seen etched into his face. Our eyes met, and he fixed me with a gaze. Gogok Firebone, son of Thrallin Firebone, the avenger of Baragor, you will swear an oath to me now, on your honor, on your father's honor, and in the name of Grimnir. Do you understand? If you do not wish me your enemy, you will agree to this now. Agree. Then repeat after me. I, Gogok Firebone, son of Thrallin Firebone. Ah, Gogok Firebone, son of Thrallin Firebone. In the eyes of Grimnir and the ancestors, do solemnly swear. In the eyes of Grimnir and the ancestors, do solemnly swear to never again, come between Snorri Stonebreaker and an honorable death. Come between Snorri Stonebreaker and an honorable death. There, it is done. Take this and remember your oath. And with that, he tossed a large talon onto the ground in front of me. What's this? It belonged to Hagdar. It's his little toe. He was stupid enough to try and get in my way as I was dragging your unconscious bulk into one of the few tunnels that pierced the mountain range. But enough about all that. We're here, Baidlin. We've reached the plane of bones.
Now, just wait a moment, Strolvar. You're saying that your real name is Gogo...
Hush, Manlin! It's not safe to utter that here. Wanset, I've not gone by that name for a long time. A long time. Long before you were born.
Ah, my apologies. Anyway, you also possessed one of the talents of Hagdar. Do you still have it?
Of course I do. You've seen it. What did you think it was that was sticking out of the bottom of the grip of my axe? A toothpick.
Oh, I'd not realized. Ah, I see. Well, I do have one last question, though, if you'll indulge me.
Aye, I thought you might. Go on, Manlin.
Well, let me just get this straight. In order to prevent you from joining him in fighting Hagdar and getting yourself killed, Snorri knocked you out.
So that he could fulfill his oath to my father and get me to the plane of bones in one piece.
Ah, yes. And then he dragged your unconscious body into a tunnel that just happened to get you through the mountain range.
Aye, he was a son of a bookie, a miner. He could smell the right way to go once we got underground. Snorri was the finest subterranean pathfinder I've ever known.
And then he made you swear an oath to never again come between him and his doom, by which you mean his death.
Aye. Have I answered your question yet, Manlin? I'm getting thirsty.
Ah, not yet. My question is this. Did you keep your oath?
Why, you've some nerve. Of course I did. And in keeping it, I lost my friend, my mentor, whilst he got himself his honourable death. And a new name and moniker. Strolvar the Wanderer. Kraken Slayer. A tale for another day, Manlin. Why don't you pour us another?